Maybe notice how different this probably feels from your normal posture. Nice, let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, arms sweep up. Yoga for me is a lifelong process. I came to yoga to start to understand what's going on in my mind and the mind in general. Really trying to become more comfortable with myself. And what drew me to yoga is my therapist actually suggested it. I was not flexible. I can't do a cartwheel. I do not like going upside down. And I really didn't pay so much attention to anyone else in the room. I just came to class, I listened to the teacher, and the messages that I really received were mostly about how to manage my thoughts, how to observe my thoughts. And this was magic for me. I had a professional career before I became a yoga teacher. I was a sales and marketing executive in the beauty industry. Very, very stressful market, and it's very busy. Eventually, I got married and I had children. I owe a lot to my yoga practice in terms of my relationship with my kids, my patience with my kids, the relationship I have with my husband, because when you practice yoga, you're learning how to listen. You're learning how to pause. These were lessons I really needed.
I feel when I go to Carla's classes that I can be very authentic and show up as myself, and whatever ailment I'm feeling that day, we will work through it, and everything is very flexible and come as you are, and that's a great feeling of acceptance. In a crazy New York City, sometimes it is really nice just to be able to tune into Carla's voice, which is steady, calm, authoritative, and gentle. One time I kind of spontaneously broke into tears of relief because it was so nice to be on the mat without any judgment in my head. And that was a very rare moment for me.
My philosophy in teaching yoga is having yoga available to everyday people, to use it in your everyday life. Yoga has evolved and our culture has evolved. Talking about mental health and mental wellness is much more open today. And I see this merging of these 2 worlds of yoga and meditation and mindfulness, and how these things are being more frequently suggested by therapists. Yoga teaches you how to self-regulate your moods, your emotions, your actions. We could all use a little bit of that. A lot of people here in the States think that yoga is fitness, right? And it can be, and that's amazing, right? But what sets yoga apart is that anyone can do yoga. For example, when I was pregnant, I did yoga for pregnant, soon-to-be moms. When I had breast cancer, I was in recovery. There was a process of getting back into everyday life, and I wasn't allowed to do, rigorous movement. But I still went to a vinyasa yoga class, and I would lie down on my mat in Shavasana at the very beginning of class, and that is where I stayed for the entire class. And I would check in with the teacher at the beginning, and I'd just say, I'm gonna sit in Shavasana the whole time. It was some of the most healing yoga I have ever practiced. I also am someone who got sober in my 20s. That is another journey. I've also had some relationships with food that were challenging. And if those are things that one struggles with, and honestly, most of us have a little bit of an unhealthy relationship with things like food or alcohol or our phones or video games, or maybe even with our own body. And yoga helps with all of it. And I really try to bring those lessons into my classes, just a subtle way.